Welcome to the Morning Mayhem Show with the morning crew, Tom Lane and Mama Manny.
Host, Jim Amato.
Good morning, Woodland, and welcome to the last day of the week, March 24th. And it's madness, I say, for the next couple of weeks. Last night was even more madness. I wish Mama Manny was here to cover that because she definitely could give us some insight to what happened in the basketball games last night.
I'm going to be absolutely useless when it comes to that conversation.
Not a problem. I have a little bit more going on. What was happening there. Today is the 25th. It is a Friday. It is also a B-Day here in the building. It is also J.R.R. Tolkien Reading Day, a day where you celebrate a lot of what J.R.R. Tolkien is known for, which is the Hobbits and Lord of the Rings series and whatnot. But he did write a lot of other essays. Do you know what J.R.R. stands for?
Oh my God, I'm reading the book about him and Lewis right now. I should know this. I do not.
John Ronald Reuel?
Yes, that sounds about right.
John Ronald Reuel, if I'm not mistaken?
We actually picked up his Letters from Father Christmas collection.
Oh.
So what he did was for, I think, a decade and a half, Father Christmas would send letters to Tolkien's two sons. And in them, Father Christmas would not only speak about the North Pole, but he would also share with them the glorious languages of Middle-earth. And that's where Tolkien developed some of the written prose, and some of these letters are in Elfish because Elfish is also spoken by his little helpers.
And he was known to maybe speak 17 languages, and of those 17, some of the ones he created on his own, like Elvish.
Yes.
That's a usable language.
Yeah, no, and that was
he was a linguistic
that was the whole thing about Tolkien, that he was this linguistics expert, and he was fascinated with Beowulf, and he wanted the great English version of Beowulf, and that's why he created Middle Earth and all the rest of it. I'm actually reading a great story about him and C.S. Lewis right now, which is Hobbit, A Wardrobe, and the Great War. It's how World War I really shaped both of their writing styles and their belief structures.
I could see that.
Because both of them served as officers in the Great War. Tolkien lost all of his friends fighting in the Great War. C.S. Lewis also. And then they came out afterwards, and you had this generation of survivors of World War I who either went two paths. They were broken and had no faith, and they lost faith in just about everything. Or you had these other people who doubled down and talked about how evil modernity is, and how we need to get back to a simpler time, and that would have prevented World War I. And Tolkien and C.S. Lewis are in that second group. That's why, the Lord of the Rings, the Shire is the good and the innocence, and when Mordor comes and creates the machines there and destroys it, it's the Industrial Revolution, modernity bringing destruction to everyday normal lives.
Technology
is
social
evil.
Media
is all evil.
It's like the new Bo Burnham song, The Internet. I don't know if you ever heard that one. I'll play it for you later.
I've been on the internet, but you can play the song.
All right, and it's also National Medal of Honor Day.
Nice.
And I didn't realize there's only been like 3,800 of these service medals given out for heroism. So anyone that has a National Medal of Honor, it is quite coveted and a recognition of extreme service. And finally, it is National Lobster Newburg Day. National Lobster Newburg Day. Now, Newburg, I don't know if anybody has had lobster Newburg, but it is delicious.
What is it?
It is sherry, cognac, eggs, cream. Yes. Butter, like you wouldn't believe, floats in it. And it was originally made by a ship's captain, and Ben Wenberg or something like that. And he made it for someone, and they're like, oh, we should serve this. And then he got into a fight with the restaurateur who was making it for him. So they took it off the menu, put it back on, renamed it Newburg.
I love it.
So that Wenberg now had anything to it. And it is also what heralded the change of the rat of the sea to become more of a delicacy, because this is what they used to feed to prisoners. And lobster was never looked at. It was bait.
Sea cockroach. That's all it is.
Right. So it was served as bait or dinner to prisoners because no one wanted to eat it. And once lobster Newburg got put on menus, and people were like, well, this is delicious. It changed the tenor. That's marketing. That's marketing right there.
All about marketing. I did not realize that. I'm gonna may have to make this.
There you go. Oh, you haven't made lobster Newburgh? I thought for sure you would have made lobster Newburgh.
No, I'm a traditionalist. I just dip it in boil and butter and just.
Yeah, that's what I actually do too. Poach it and
my mouth is getting all.
Enjoy it. Today's daily dose of love from Choose Love is: instead of letting your hardships and failures discourage or exhaust you, let them inspire you. Michelle Obama. There we go. Solid. I don't know why I'm copying it. Good morning. I'm like your hype man.
solid.
A birthday shout out goes to Jonathan Henry. He's a senior, and he's turning that old today. It doesn't say how old. He just has a birthday today. Solid. All right. Is that going to be the thing for the day?
I guess so.
A birthday shout out also goes to Ella Van Alstyne for grade 9. Her birthday's tomorrow, though. We'll have to wait till tomorrow.
It's probably gonna be like 15.
Yeah, 14. Maybe we'll just call her. Hey, happy birthday. Class 2022, don't forget you're going to be on the trampolines jumping around for some fun on April 8th. If you join up for that. If you don't, then really probably just be sitting home on the couch. But don't sit on the couch. Go jump on a trampoline. And if you still have some poetry or reading that you want done, turn those submissions into Mrs. Manning. Have them in by March 31st at 2 p.m. That way there you can be in the running. The competition, which will be held on April 21st. And the Science National Honor Society and Woodland Worldwide will be hosting Women X Women, an event organized by Jackson Laboratory. It's going to be in the Woodland Media Center on March 30th. And if you need more information, see Ms. Lesh or Mrs. Gary. If you're looking to support Ukraine, don't forget, last couple times we've mentioned it, we've had more people involved. Made in United. It's going to support Ukraine through donations for what they need over there. It has been some of the most abysmal conditions. They've had no heat, no water. It's been like -7 Celsius. What's that in Fahrenheit? I read a story. It was -7 outside, and in their apartments, it was like
in
0.
The teens.
So they can definitely use more clothes, food, just basically everything.
19.4 degrees.
19.4. And in the 84-hour film challenge for DM3 gets underway today. It is a 3-day challenge. Today they'll be getting their topic, and then they will be working together to create their film that is due on Monday. So there's a lot that goes on in this, and it will be starting. So some of those students will be out of class. They'll be on a field trip into the DM3 studio. And Woodland Worldwide guest speaker Love 146 will be coming to talk about human trafficking on Tuesday, March 29th. If you want to go, scan and sign up. Look for the QR code on the posters on the wall. They are red and black. March is Women's History Month, and today's book of the day is Internment. And it's a terrifying futuristic United States where Muslim Americans are forced into internment camps, and 17-year-old Layla Amin must lead a revolution against complicit silence. Stop by the media center to check it out. Woodland cheerleading tryouts are getting closer. May is getting closer too. That's May 9th, 10th, 11th, and 13th. So don't forget to start looking towards that. And see Isabella Tottenham if you would like to work on the Best Buddies Prom. National Honor Society junior members, you need to attend your meeting Wednesday, March 30th. That's next week. And don't forget to listen to us every morning at 7:15 a.m.-ish. Time now for the news. T-minus 60 with Tomlin.
Morning. Couple top stories today. First off, Moscow is accused of forcibly removing civilians to Russia. Ukraine accused Moscow of forcibly removing hundreds of thousands of civilians from shattered Ukrainian cities to Russia while pressuring Kyiv to give up. This is a continuing story. All of the various avenues that are open up for refugees to flee the war zone, all of them point towards Russia, and Ukrainian government is saying that this is part of Russia's attempts to end the war by pulling in these Ukrainians and then holding it against the Ukrainians. The U.S. and EU announced a new partnership to undercut Russian energy. The United States and European Union on Friday announced their new partnership to reduce the continent's reliance on Russian energy. The start of a year-long initiative to further isolate Russia. Eastern Europe, Germany on over, is reliant on Russian fuel.
It's going to be tougher for them than it is going to be for us.
Well, and what Russia's doing right now is they know this. They know that countries can't just entirely cut them off. So they've developed a new scheme of friendly and unfriendly nations. So if you have been labeled an unfriendly the unfriendly nation by Russia, you are now required to pay for your natural gas in rubles.
You were saying that the other day.
But here's the new part.
Uh-oh.
If you are labeled a friendly nation, you can now pay in any form of currency you want. You want to use Bitcoin?
Belarus, China.
You want to use Bitcoin? Use Bitcoin. You want to use whatever you want. Doesn't have to be in dollars. It can be whatever currency you want to use. You can sell to Russia.
We'll see how that holds up.
It's interesting. I mean, the ruble has seen a little bit of stability since this new announcement. I mean, the problem is you have countries like Japan. Japan is very much reliant. About 19%, I think it is, of their fuel comes from liquefied natural gas coming from Russia. I mean, 20%. That's a big chunk. You know, and it's a difficult decision for countries. They want to punish an aggressor, but at the same token, you can't damage yourself so much that you make your population unhappy as well.
Yeah. Did you say by some token or token?
I don't know.
I don't know.
North Korea says it has test fired the largest ICBM. The United States has added new sanctions. This comes on the heels on Friday when it has test fired its biggest yet intercontinental ballistic missile under the orders of leader Kim Jong-un. Who renewed his vow to make North Korea a nuclear center.
He's just upset because he's not in the news right now. That's basically.
I was going to say, he has been very quiet lately.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, it's like he's not the dictator that's getting any of the headlines.
No,
so he's
no more love for him. No more summits, nothing. It's all about Putin.
Look at me, I'm firing on myself.
There was a Canadian stand-up comedy group that did a skit about international people as countries bumping into each other. Now the North Korean country kept walking around screaming, "Someone pay attention to me! I have nukes."
Yeah, he's got to be like, "Listen, guys, what are we gonna do to get some attention around here?
Let's just build a bigger ICBM. We'll launch that.
Let's get a bigger rocket. We'll fire it into the sky.
See what happens." Putin's war in Ukraine nearing possible more dangerous phase. President Vladimir Putin's war is approaching its new, potentially more dangerous phase as every month of fighting has left Russian force installed by an outnumbered foe. There's reports coming in that the Ukrainian forces are making advancements on almost all fronts. Yesterday, Ukraine reported 300 Russian soldiers walked off the battlefield with various pieces of military accoutrement that they just no longer wanted to fight. So Ukraine is sharing multiple stories about Russian units either surrendering or literally just being like, all right, we're going over here. We're done. So it's interesting what's going on. Now, Russia has been planting the seeds that the Ukrainians the West has been using Ukraine to develop chemical weapons. So Russia's been planting the seeds in their own media that there are chemical, biological, and possibly nuclear weapons that the Ukrainians have. There is some fear in the West that Russia is preparing to use these.
They just started calling on conscripts too.
Russia?
So So they started bringing more people to the front and starting to arm them because the attrition has been.
I told you. I mean, if
far more than they expected.
No. And actually, the Ukrainian president came out, and one of his comments he made yesterday was, if anyone ever tells us that the Ukrainian army doesn't meet NATO standards again, they need to revise NATO standards.
There you go.
Some prominent Russians have quit their jobs, refused to support the war. Resignation of Russian government officials and reported above wasn't the blah, 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 blah. Completely butchered that one. Yeah. Good. And last but not least, a little bit of happiness for you guys. A man is touting his electric unicycle as the answer to high gas prices. A man from Fall River, Massachusetts says that he has answered all of the problems of the world by developing a new unicycle. This is actually a big thing. In Europe, the electric bicycle is it's a big thing. Like some towns require you to use electric bicycle for certain transportation needs. And you can get up to 28 miles per hour in theory on these things. Because they have a governor, they won't let you go more than that. Average speed is you can go about 20 miles per hour in an electric bicycle. It's other than the fact that they're
for one of our senior projects here, it was
Are you talking about back in the day when they biked to Woodland?
No.
I was going to say that was 15 years ago.
Yeah, George Myers used to bike to Woodland before he started his shift here.
There was a senior project.
A kid who made an electric bike.
Oh
man, I wish I could recall his name right now. But he actually had the motor installed right in the center of the bike and then had it hooked up to the chain. So he could drive it with the pedals or he could click it over and it would shift into a gear and the motor would catch.
And
then he would take off on it. But it didn't have a governor. So sometimes it would go too fast and the chain would spit off the tire.
And that's what they're saying, that the governor has to be about 28 miles per hour just for the safety of the vehicle itself.
Yeah.
Because the chain sprockets aren't meant to be driven that fast.
No, so they're saying some electric bikes and those scooters that we have around, the electric scooters are coming to Ansonia.
They are?
Yes. I don't see a huge need for them. I mean, you can walk end to end in well under an hour, but
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. That's what they're doing for the downtown, the main street, is they're bringing more of that kind of cosmopolitan, big city kind of vibe or feel.
I love it.
I
love when cities do that. Like it's kind of like New Haven for a while was talking about seriously bringing back their old trolley system.
Oh, that would be nice.
Well, problem is that all the infrastructure
horse drawn, all that.
No. New Haven.
Only kidding. That'd be awesome though.
But Bridgeport had that for a long time. Yeah. New Haven had their whole trolley system, and it was all electrified, and they had it up until I want to say the 40s. And there's large chunks of the track still left under most of the streets, but a lot of them have been torn up because as you're like doing maintenance, you come across tracks, rip those things out. You don't need them anymore. But I love when cities do stuff like that. It's just so totally cool.
Yeah, no, it's been a little bit of a rebirth for, I know our town center, which the shops were shuttered and whatnot. But now on a Thursday, Friday evening, you can't find parking down there. There's a lot that's going on.
Nice.
So it's good to see. All right, and that's the news. T-minus 60 with Tomlin. Over to the sports desk with Mama Manning. In for Mama Manning is me. And, well, if you have an NCAA bracket where you have any teams still left, this is for you. I think I'm completely out for right now. It is just a hot mess. I think Gonzaga
who are the Peacocks? Who are the Peacocks, and why is everyone talking?
Peter's, I can't wait for tonight. Like tonight, I've cleared my calendar for the 15th seed that's coming up and playing tonight.
Yeah,
they are just unseating everybody. They have, and last night with they have a different style of play where it's a lot of passing, a lot of motion on the ball, kind of like Houston last night. They just play super aggressive and like super fast. You almost get dizzy. You ever watch hockey?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And they're just sometimes it's tough to keep an eye on the puck because it moves so quickly from person to person. That's how University of Houston plays. Like they play that fast. Like sometimes when they're bounce passing, you don't realize that guy just got rid of the ball. It's over here now, and that's how they play.
Nice.
And they're just incredibly fun to watch. And I think that's it. Arizona went out. Gonzaga went out.
Gonzaga's out?
Yeah, if I'm on stay. Yeah, I was trying to stay awake. But
so I have to start rooting for the Peacocks. They're the underdogs.
Yeah, I got to halftime, and then I pretty much these games are on so late now.
I told you 9 o'clock. I fell asleep last night. Was not my plan.
Arkansas took out Gonzaga, and then it was Houston. And then was Houston took out Arizona. Yeah, I was trying to watch. Duke almost lost too. They were down most of the game, and then they came back. So I have to go check my bracket, but I know I had Gonzaga going a little further than it did, and they did not get as far as they should have. So, and I did not have St. Pete's getting anywhere near where they are. But that's the big game for tonight is St. Pete. That is the team that's the team to watch right there against the Boilermakers, who did not have a great game last time they were playing. So this is going to be one of those matchups that we could have.
It's the Peacocks versus the Boilermakers.
Yeah.
The two most aggressive mascots in
history.
I love it.
Yeah. So, you know what? If they get into the Elite Eight there, they have every right to strut their feathers.
Love it.
So, I don't know. That's who I'm rooting for. That is my new favorite team. I think I need to get a shirt for the Fighting Peacocks.
Now, I want to say one of them is from Connecticut because they were interviewing some guy this morning on the news from Connecticut wearing his St. Peter's Peacocks T-shirt.
I didn't know. Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't know if he was the only fan in Connecticut or.
Oh, you think it was a I didn't know there were fans for St. Peter.
I don't know. There's a guy.
I'm sure if you went there, then yes, but basketball roster. Looks like yeah, well, I'm not careful. Yeah, we're just gonna abandon that. All right, so I'm not able to look that up fast enough, but it does appear that there is somebody from there. All right, so don't forget to listen to us every morning. Hopefully your bracket stays intact, so when we're back on Monday, we'll see if there's anybody left with anyone, any teams heading into the Final Four. Thanks for listening. Don't forget, as always, for Mama Manning, I'm Amato. He's Tomlin. Good morning.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Morning Mayhem podcast. Morning Mayhem is broadcast live from Woodland Regional High School in Beacon Falls, Connecticut, each and every school day. Follow us on Spotify, Anchor FM, or wherever you find your latest podcasts. And for more information on the show, upcoming guests, and past episodes, visit our show website, morningmayhem.show.